Hello, hello, hello. Sir David the Bard, coming to you from Quebec, up here in Canada. I speak a little French. Menage trois. That's the only French I know, but anyway, it qualifies me to be here in this wonderful little ancient city of Quebec. I wanted to do a video on something a person said, and I think it has some merit. And I want to be fair. I want to be fair, and I want to be balanced in my reporting on the Mormon Church. Now, a person said to me, it's true what he's saying about the Mormon Church, but he never mentions the good things in the Mormon Church. Well, maybe that's a fair comment, so I'm going to try to be fair and comment on it. I have said, if you've watched all my 1,000 videos, I'm the only one that's watched all of them because I made them. I have said that the youth program of the Mormon Church is extremely positive in my overall perspective of it. Now, the indoctrination, the sarin gas of Joseph Smith, it's intertwined between many good things. Now, when you teach a primary class, of course I've taught primary classes and other classes, and you see these sweet little faces, and they're so beautiful, and they're so innocent, and they're so willing to believe everything you say. And then you give them candy or cupcakes or use some kind of behavior modification, and they just enjoy going to primary. It's fun. And when you have the primary children's choir singing in a sacrament meeting, you know, you look up there, there's my kid, there's my kid. I mean, you know, it's a great family thing at that time. Now, if you don't put the testimony glove on and make the child memorize and start brainwashing, that whole childhood part of the Mormon Church would be wonderful. Now, I've got, you know, Allison, I've let go twice now to a Mormon's activity day. Well, why? Because she can manipulate me. Why? Because she controls me. Why? Because I love her too much. Why? Well, anyway, I've made very, very sure that the activity is just an activity, that it's not a religious, sneaky sarin gas. Well, it was, till yesterday. She comes home, and, well, what'd you guys do? She said, well, we were learning to index. We're indexing. What the hell is indexing? Well, it's like dead people. You can't read their names very well, and we were going in and fixing the dead people's names. I said, well, Allison, do you know why the Mormons are fixated on dead people? She said, well, no. Because they're curious? I said, no. It's their temple. They need dead people to baptize, and they need live people to pay tithing to go in and baptize those dead people. Oh. Said, you're being tricked. You're being tricked. Oh. So the next activity is a party. A party. Oh, hats and balloons and party. Well, God, that sounds great. But the only kids that can go are the ones that have memorized the first 6 articles of faith. Well, we don't believe in the articles of faith. And Allison said, well, Dad, I can just, you know, memorize them quick so I can get some cake. There it is. There it is. There's the sarin gas leaking slowly into her mind. What kid wouldn't memorize 6 stupid statements to get some cake and some ice cream and whatever? There are positive things as far as social. Most of the young families, I'm going to say between 20 and 35, 40, help each other. You know, if you have a roofing project or you have to move and you need someone to carry your piano, you have a death in the family, or you have a disability as a husband or a wife injured, they'll come over and give you food. And there's a safety net there that is positive. It is positive, and usually with no strings attached. The strings are not attached at the time of the giving. The strings are attached way, way, way before the time of giving. If they're not an active member of the church, you could die on a sidewalk and the Mormons will walk by you to get to their sacrament meeting. If you're a lesbian or a gay Mormon, they'll step over you on the sidewalk while you're dying to get into their sacrament meeting. If you're black, brown, yellow, green, maroon, I don't care. If you're not white and delightsome, you're at the end of the line and at the back of the bus in the Mormon church. So some of these wonderful giving activities do have strings attached. You just can't see them. They were there years and years ago, and now people look and say, oh, that's a wonderful thing. The Mormons take care of their own. Yeah, they do. The white and delightsome Mormons do take care of the white and delightsome, Mormons. I remember when the church didn't even preach with their missionary program in Africa. The Africans were a slothful and loathsome people with a black skin and didn't deserve the gospel. I laugh. I said this on another video. If you've seen all 1,000 of them, you would know this. But those that you haven't seen it, and you'll think this is new and funny. The Book of Mormon says that the Lamanites, the brown-skinned people, if they live the gospel, they'll turn white. Well, I go into my kid's bedroom, and they're so precious laying there sleeping, but God, they haven't turned white. They're still brown. Poor little Allison. She wants friends. She loves friends. She's a popular little girl. A little boy came over here yesterday, and it's the first time a little boy that isn't a little boy knocked on the door, and Allison answered the door. Now this boy is in 7th grade, and Alice is in 5th grade, and he said, "Can Allison come out and play?" I said, "Do you know who I am?" He says, "No." I said, "I'm the Bard." "Oh shit, the real Bard?" And I go, "Yeah, the real Bard." And I said, Allison is one of the most precious things in my life, and I want you to know that I really don't mind going back to jail if anyone hurts her. Do you understand?" "Yes." I said, "Bow your head and say yes." So she went out and played with this little boy, and he seems to be a very, very nice kid. He's a little immature for 7th grade, but anyway, they were playing, and some Mormon lady, oh, when will all these people die? Old lady comes out and says, "You can't play on the grass." I go, "Yes, they can." And I hadn't taken my meds, so I don't engage people outside that front door if I'm not on my meds. But anyway, they came in the house, the 2 kids, and they said, "Can we play Wii?" I said, "Sure." And so they came upstairs, and they played Wii for a while. And then they came downstairs, and he was very curious about my jungle jacuzzi, and he was asking questions about it. And then they played on the computer for a while, and I could see, her face. And, my first girlfriend was in 5th grade. Anyway, the poison starts to slip in quietly. Now, she can't go to the next activities with the Mormon Church because it has to do with the Articles of Faith. Everything in the Mormon Church has a doctrinal hard drive. The only reason that things exist is to preach the doctrine of obedience and tithing. So that young family period between 20 and 40, when you have the kids and everyone has kids and you're always comparing your kids to somebody else, and generally the scouting program, the young women's program, I don't know a lot about the young women's program. I do remember my girls having booklets and having to do certain things like merit badges to get their young women's award. And the boys, not all the boys were molested by the leaders. Some of them actually were leaders that enjoyed teaching the boys to tie knots and to make fires. Well, those parts of the Mormon Church are positive parts of the Mormon Church. I've said, I landed my Lear jet that somebody gave me. I think it's the Huntsmans gave me a free jet. Oh, no, that's Monson. That's Monson. I can't forget. Maybe it was Michael Jackson's family gave me the free jet. And I landed it out in Huntsville, Utah. If any of you have been there, the population is 300. So anyway, I landed my jet, and I was very popular, landing on the only road they have there. The point I'm making is living with the Mormons isn't too bad, as long as you don't talk to them. They're clean, decent people. In the community, your home values pretty much stay the same. When they fly their flags upside down, when Obama won the election, you know, the nigger in our midst, that kind of bothers me. But God, you know, that only happens once in the history of the world. So they clean their lawns, they mow their lawns. There's a certain amount of community pride. They have a lot of basketball teams and a lot of football and soccer and community activities. The Mormons are very big in putting their kids into activities and into competitive situations. I'm not that kind of a parent or father. I don't want my kids, you know. What, Allison? I'm done. With your room? Yes. Okay, if you're going out, now the kitchen. When you're done with the kitchen, you're done. Okay. So there's some positive things there that children certainly are drawn to. How does a child know what sarin gas is going to do over a period of time, or other types of poison? So I want to be fair. I want to be honest. I never enjoyed the scouting program. When I was in it, my leader was John Hunter, Howard B. Hunter's son. And John and I, he was a little older than I was. He was an adult and I was a kid. But, you know, John was, now if you've seen my other videos, you know, you're going to say, oh, he told that story. Oh, he told that story in video 712. John Hunter and I were sitting in sacrament meeting one day in the Ojai ward, and the program was on his father being the prophet and a good man, and the history of the dad, and I was sitting beside John, and I said, he's always a funny dude. He's dead now. He lost his leg to diabetes, but they buried him up in Salt Lake. Anyway, I was sitting beside John. I said, hey, John, listen, if your wife, oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry, John, if your children were in an automobile accident and the car caught on fire and the kids were inside screaming and screaming, Dad, shoot us, we don't want to go through this pain, and it was a sure thing that they couldn't get out, they were going to die of being burned, would you shoot the kids to save them that pain? And he looks down at me and he says, Bard, where do you come up with this crap? He said, let me tell you the truth. Let's say my wife was in the burning car. Do you understand? And I said, yes, sir. He and Louine, I think Louine is still alive. They were having some marital problems. She would sit in the back of the ward, he'd sit in the front of the ward, and I'd sit with John, and other people would sit with his wife. But anyway, there are some positive things. you know, it reminds me a lot of a great big beautiful car. You go to the car lot, you buy yourself, has the windows and the Sirius radio and all the tricks and the automatic braking systems, etc. And you drive it off the lot. Well, it's a very, very beautiful machine, and anybody would want to ride in that machine and drive it and to own it and to be with it or have it in its family. Well, when you turn that beautiful machine over to someone who is drunk or doesn't have a driver's license or is going to speed, it turns into a death trap. Now, the vehicle itself is not a death trap. It's the damn people who are driving it. So this beautiful vehicle suddenly now becomes something evil and something wicked, and it brings a lot of heartbreak to families who children or parents are run over. In many ways, the Mormon Church is like that. When you look at the entire global aspect of the Mormon Church, it looks like a new car. It looks pretty good. Families are forever. In God we trust. Oh, that's on their money. That's their #1 right there, in God we trust. Anyway, what I'm saying here is I want to be fair that there are moments of attraction in the Mormon Church to most people. To most people. If you take it as a lifetime global experience, you're going to end up like me. You're going to be an atheist. You know, wooden boats full of all of the animals in the world with only 8 people to feed them, and men walking on water, and the rising of the dead, gold plates that disappear, angels that are gone but they were here once. Pretty soon you go, hey, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I'm a hardcore atheist. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I see a lot of anger and a lot of hatred that comes from the Mormon Church. ERA, women, and blacks, and polygamists. They started polygamy, then they hated polygamists. And now it's the gays and the lesbians that they hate. So these things are very subtle and very quiet. They're kind of like the testimony glove. It looks innocent. And it looks fun to have a glove in there, and you know, each prophet is speaking, and I think Monson's wife, she's dead now. Yeah, she's dead now. I think Monson's wife made that testimony glove. But anyway, there are some positive aspects some of the time throughout a lifetime. But when you take the whole overall picture of the brainwashing, of paying money where you have no idea where the money is going, where you have scams, charlatans, Ponzi schemes, and fear, just constant fear. See, Monson hears that, and no, don't answer that one. Oh, I don't know if it's Monson or not, but anyway.
Dad, Dan's on the phone.
Okay, tell him I'll pick it up in just a minute. Anyway, there are some positive things. You have to look hard for them. And they're usually not long-lasting. The positive things have a tendency, okay, hon, I'll pick it up, to dissolve. And over a lifetime, you end up pretty much a broken person. Thanks.